Hey CFL fans, Justin Dunk here with you while Matt Cause is eating a nice baguette probably at the top of the Eiffel Tower in France on vacation. So I'm here with you to help you set the absolute best fantasy lineup possible in week 14. But first, let's get to some key injuries. Zach Collaros is not on this list, but he's lost for the season in Hamilton, which will make it a tough go for this Ticats offense down the stretch. And speaking of quarterback injuries, Travis Lulay is hurt in BC, and now John Beck is too, so the Lions turn to the rookie. Jonathan Jennings at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton, but I would avoid all Lions this week. And the hits keep coming for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Receiver Julian Field-Gadino has been added to the 6-game list, so another weapon gone for the Bombers. Now let's get to our lineups. At quarterback, I love me some good Hank going up against a pretty porous Argos secondary, to be flat out honest. He threw for over 400 yards against the Argos back in week 9, and Hank has thrown for almost 1,500 yards. Can you imagine? In his last 4 games. Start Henry Burris this week. At running back, I really like Tyrell Sutton. It seems like under head coach Jim Popp, the Alouettes have really been more dedicated to the run game. I expect him to get a lot of carries out in Saskatchewan in a game that will sort of be a grinded out type effort, I would guess, from the Alouettes. At receiver number 1, how can you not start Eric Rogers? This guy is so consistent. He leads every other receiver in the CFL by 299 receiving yards. This guy has to be in your lineup every single week. And oh, by the way, he has 7 touchdowns, tied for second in the league. Next up in my flex position this week is the Queens graduate Rob Bagg. Him and Kevin Glenn seem to have a good rapport, as Bagg had 79 yards and a touchdown in KG's return last week. So I think get Bagg into your lineup this week, and if the Riders are trailing, they could look to him a lot in this game. For kicker this week, I love Chris Milo. He has 17 and 11 points scored in his last 2 weeks, and against a Toronto team that is prone to giving up points, I like Milo to have a lot of opportunities to put the ball through the uprights. For defense, I really like the Calgary Stampeders this week in Winnipeg. It doesn't look like that Bomber offense has really fully come together since Matt Nichols has arrived in town. They've given up a league-high tying 41 sacks, and they're tied for the second most giveaways in the CFL, so fire up that Stampeders defense. And lastly, my value play of the week might be a little sneaky. If you look at his numbers the last few weeks, I'm going with Darrell Walker, the receiver in Edmonton. He burst onto the scene with a huge first 3 weeks for the Eskimos, but has been under the radar since. I think he gets back into the mix this week, with BC likely paying a lot of attention to Darius Bowman and Kenny Stafford. So Walker, my value play of the week. My lineup is set under $1 million, so don't forget to lock yours in. And if you need any advice whatsoever, hit us up on Twitter at CFL or get at me at JDunk12. Best of luck this week. It's been a tough go of late in Bomberland. They're probably pretty desperate for a win, but I really like Calgary in this game, so take this stance.